Pastor Miles McPherson, welcome to DBL.
My pleasure. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay, but I want to ask you, with the ongoing protests, people are scared and hurting and looking for answers. What do you suggest that we all do?
You know, I come from the world of football, and when you walk into a locker room, you have guys from all over the country with all kind of different beliefs and cultures, but we have one common enemy and one common goal. We're all united on those things. And so if we can focus on the things we have in common as people, as humans, we can get along a lot better.
Now, I want to talk about your book, The Third Option, Hope for a Racially Divided Nation. Did you sense that we were headed towards this type of unrest with another Black death?
Our country's been divided ever since I was born. For hundreds of years, we've been battling racial division. Martin Luther King was killed. I was 8 years old. My family, generations before me, have been dealing with racism all our lives, so it wasn't anything new. And at the time, I remember when I was writing the book, something else would happen. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse. We have to step back and ask ourselves, do we value each other as human? One of the definitions of racism that you can use is when you view someone as less human than you. We always find a reason to say you are less than me. We got to get out of this us first them, because if it's us first them, I'm going to have a contractual relationship with you. You did this to me, so now I got to do this to you, versus saying, you're human, I'm human, we both are more similar than different. Let me invest in and lean into investing in building up your humanity, you build up mine, and that will solve a lot of the problems we're dealing with.
I want to ask you, because your dad was in law enforcement and your son is currently in law enforcement, how was it for them to be Black men as police officers?
My dad was a police officer in New York City for over 30 years, and part of what he did, he was a patrolman, then he became a detective, then he became in internal affairs where he was arresting cops. Here he is, a cop arresting cops, and he's dealing with racism at the same time. You know, police officers are people just like everybody else. They make mistakes and then they do good things. So I sympathize with the good cops that are trying to do a good job, and of course the bad cops, they have to go.
What do you think needs to be done when it comes to police reform?
When I watch some of the things going on, I always think about how much the law has made love illegal. When you stop somebody or you encounter somebody, they have their legal requirements, steps they got to go through. But sometimes that can look past the fact that we're dealing with a human being that's in a bad spot. How can we insert love and compassion back into caring for people? When someone says police reform, it's not necessarily get rid of a police, at least in my opinion. It's more of how do we reform how we deal with crime, or people who are in a bad spot, people who are just, you know, having a bad day. As a pastor, I think about how to insert compassion, love, and patience into it. And I also know that's difficult when they have to, you know, when they're dealing with people who can kill them. So that it's a double-edged sword. Thank
you so much for joining us, Pastor McPherson.
God bless you.
Your book, The Third Option, Hope for a Racially Divided Nation, is available at milesmcpherson.com.